I said, do you think our education system is flawed, and like why? Like, what would be like as
Right.
far as like like I guess would it be like, is it wrong to judge somebody based on like what their test taking skills are and everything like that? Like, I mean, because not, I mean, I'm not the best test taker in the world. Like, I think it's just solely like, on like, say you're in the classroom and you're participating, you're doing all this, you're doing all that, and then just right when you get to the test, you just freeze. You know what I mean? And like, you're a smart person and everything like that, but just because you don't do good on that test and everything like that, just it makes you not a smart person. So it's like people are getting jobs and like educations based on the SAT scores. And there's been people out throughout history like, that dropped out of high school or dropped out of school and like been most successful people in the world. But
So
I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Gotcha.
Yes and no. I think if you are smart and you try hard and you like do a lot of work, like maybe you don't get the fast track to where you want to be,
Right.
but you can make it there because you have strengths in other places. So like, yeah, you suck at test taking. You go to a school that's like not as good as one you probably could have got into if you had, great SAT scores, ACT, whatever, standardized test you take. But once you get to the workforce, I feel like a lot of those test scores, people stop giving a shit about.
Right.
Like they just want to know that you can function, you can work well with other people, that you can deliver your work when you say you're going to deliver it. I don't think they're going to be like, well, he only got a 400 on his verbal. I don't know if he's going to cut it, but you're like making them, whatever profit, or you're like delivering whatever work you do for the company, on time, ahead of schedule, then they're going to keep you, and then you can climb the ladder no matter what. When you get up for a promotion, they're not going to look at your test scores. They're just going to be like, this guy has delivered on what he said he's going to deliver. He or she is, rising just like they said they would when they came to this job, when they first got the job interview.
Yeah, investment bankers, like mergers and acquisitions, it's not like right before they make the big sell, they have to like sit down in a room and take a test, and then if they score an A, the merger happens, right? Like that's just unrealistic.
On the flip side, though, I do think that some people would get screwed over because of test scores, or maybe because of who their family is. They get pigeonholed into a job that they have to start much lower, rather than somebody that was born, with their father's head of a corporation, and he's like, oh, I'm going to set you up with this great job, and they basically, barely try the whole way, and they still make it. So there is that still happens, and I'm not saying everybody that does well on tests or doesn't do well on tests doesn't, get what they deserve, because I don't think everybody does. But I think, sure, if you're born with, a powerful family or a lot of money, like things will be easier for you than somebody that doesn't have as much.
Well, here's another perspective on test taking too, though, is that
within education, even if you do bad on your test and you're still rich or powerful family, you get like a good school. That's what I'm saying.
So I got a 4-year-old that's just about to start preschool. He's about to start his first day of school tomorrow. And we had the option of being able to do tests twice a year. And this test, so this is a different perspective on tests. This test allows us to see where his strengths are and his weaknesses are. So this allows us as parents to be able to see, okay, this is where we need to kind of like supplement a little bit more here. We can kind of tone it down a little bit here because he's doing good. But that information wouldn't be, like data we can tangibly see unless he was taking that test for us to be able to, to be able to, I guess you say, chart that, to record that. So, yeah, I mean, I get your point. Like, there's people that have anxieties to go to take tests that can freak them out. Like, it's not going to be an environment where he's sitting down in front of a piece of paper and they're like A, B, or C, A, B, or C, A, B, C. He's going to be doing it through a computer. That's going to allow him to feel like he's just having fun and enjoying a game, but it's still testing him. Right. Now, maybe that's another way we could do things to reduce the amount of anxiety for people while taking a test, but I think it is important still so that you can know yourself of where your strengths are and your weaknesses are too as an individual. I think that it is a little crazy sometimes that will be the deciding factor of where you go or what you do sometimes with some of these tests.
Right, because you could absolutely excel in something else that doesn't have to have anything to do with this. Like,
right.
As far as are what we learning really are they really like helping us in the future? Like, I mean, when's the last time anyone's used like this? I don't know, like what is it, advanced algebra or geometry or anything like that? And like, have you guys used it lately at all, like in everyday life? Or?
I do, but that's because
Like,
of the profession I'm in.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think it depends on what work you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I bet a mathematician uses it a lot, though.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. I don't know. I guess I would like to just learn more. Like, I mean, I would have liked to learn more stuff. Like, you know, like I don't know, like farming, like if anything, you know, like just,
hands-on skills in it.
Just hands-on skills. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's just.
I think that tests are, like, Rocco kind of pinpointed a little bit what I'm about to say, and that tests, I believe, are just not used in a correct way. They're a checkpoint. They're a check-up point, right? But it's evolved to how good are you at taking tests. It has not been a measurement tool anymore. It's like, how well can you sit down for 2 hours and, like, read a paragraph? Like, SATs, it's not teaching you really the knowledge. That preparation course is learn to read like the first sentence of a paragraph and dissect it in the last. What skill?
Learn to take this test, basically.
Yeah, like it's
that's
not.
It.
It's not applicable to real life situations, and I think we have just become all about how do you take tests, how do you be efficient in tests, how do you like soak in, mesmerize information and spit it out in bubble form and essay form, like where we should, like you guys are saying, go back to more like team-oriented stuff, deadline stuff, like things that are actually like more prevalent in the real world, right? Why do we need to wait till like college, in some cases, maybe not even college, to like get used to dealing with real world like situations, challenges, and hurdles, right? And we need to be doing that at like kindergarten grade and higher. Like, you need to be in a team, work with people, socialize, like do stuff, you know.
Down here in Florida, we have our schools do the FCAT, and it stands for, I can't remember, but they're now gearing like their whole year-long teaching just to pass that test, and it's a standardized test. And it's like, wait, no. You want to teach the kids not just how to pass the test, but how to actually do the things, think and go through it. And it baffles me sometimes. Like, why do that?
Yeah, I mean, I have a 13-year-old who, granted, she struggles in school and everything like that, but like we've got her to the point where she's turning in all of her homework, she's getting A's on this and A's on that. But when it comes to tests, I don't know what it is, but she just doesn't do good on tests. And I did the same thing when I was in school. I just didn't do good on the tests and everything.
Right.
And I'm not saying I'm failing as a parent as far as like, I don't know, maybe get her confidence up about the test taking or anything like that, but I'm trying to go based on what I used to do. And I don't remember what I would go through when I took a test. I mean, what I was thinking at the time.
Yeah, nervous before the test for sure. Like,
I was thinking that, like, I'm not going to pass this. Yeah.
I just took a huge test, and it was actually a 6-hour test. It was a Series 7, and I did well through school, but I always got nervous before tests. And there was a few times that I knew the material, but I'd sit there and read the question and be like, I'm too nervous, and I would have to sit there and like kind of just breathe and
reread the question like a bunch of times, you know.
And like neuroscience shows too that if your brain goes under stress like that, you actually you forget. You don't have that. You have lacked that ability to dive into your memory, essentially, to pull your answers. That stress overwhelms you to the point where you just blank. You draw blanks.
People also learn differently and express that knowledge differently. It's like there's just bad test takers, and schools are starting, well, private schools mostly, are starting to realize this. And people who are bad at tests, who are identified through the system, are given more time than other people on tests. Like, they will have a whole classroom, and some students will just have an extra hour. They'll just have an extra hour, and that's
that's good.
Yeah,
that's really
it's a step in the right direction.
Sorry, I got another question for you guys. What do you guys think about them taking cursive out of school?
Oh man,
cursive out of school?
How often? Well, like a whole class for it, or it's like just in their English class they learn it?
Just teaching.
No, they don't learn it at all.
They don't learn it at all. Period. Yeah. Like,
they don't learn it at all. Yeah.
I got 2 little cards for Bella and Kira, and I told them, I said they got to sign the back of it because there's cards and like they sign it and they printed their name, and I was like, oh, you guys didn't sign it. You guys got to sign it. And they're like, that's their signature. I was like, you guys don't know cursive? They're like, no, they never taught us cursive. I was like, what?
Wow.
took cursive out of school? I guess they did take a cursive out of school, but
and put in
Like-
typing instead.
Yeah, that's what they
Right.
did. Yeah.
That's what they did. So like, I mean, people like 20 years from now won't know how to
But
sign their
cursive
name.
Yeah.
isn't really being used anymore
Yeah.
now, though.
No, it is.
Our education does have to evolve with what's happening in society. So where a cursive was the norm for writing any letter that you would have wrote back in 100 years ago, it's not anymore. We'll type that
But
letter.
it should still be
or-
preserved, don't you think?
I mean, no. Well, there's something.
Hieroglyphics aren't used anymore, but we like to keep
Yeah.
record of the language.
Yeah, in a
and the-
museum.
Well, yeah. But if it goes away completely, then what's going to happen when our generation's dead and it's our children's generation? Nobody's
well,
going to
I
know
understand.
cursive.
I understand. Yeah.
But are people
No,
people
that
aren't
one for me is like I don't know if I feel like I
mean, it
stand
doesn't-
neutral with that.
I guess
you know?
where I was trying to go with that was just like, do we really know what they're teaching? Like honestly,
Right.
like,
right.
and
right.
is it anything really of value? Like, I can't really remember anything from. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But I can't remember anything from high school.
I can barely
I mean,
remember anything from college.
I mean, nothing really stands out for me. Really, that I just remember learning to pass. That was it. That's all I remember. And that's what I hated about school. Like I wanted to. Like I think about it right now, I want to go there and I want to just have a passion for it, But all I was doing was going to school so I could pass it, learning to pass, basically, and that was it. That's what.
Well, I think
that's
there's a deeper core issue to education right now than just the tests and the cursive situations and all that are going on. I think that there's a big issue. I think it's the way that they're even educating students. I think is an issue, to be honest. And I've done a lot of research into like education because of my son, and I was contemplating homeschooling because of the feelings of unsatisfaction towards our education here in America.
Right.
We're number 36 or 7, I think, in the entire world, education-wise.
It's bad.
Something
That's
is
bad.
wrong.
Yeah.
Well,
Like-
one thing that really aggravates me is getting into the higher education. After you graduate high school, they beat into your head while going through school. You got to go to college. You have to go to college. But then, you get into college and you can take out a tremendous amount of student debt, like hundreds of thousands. I hear people like, and they don't even educate them on that, saying, "Hey,
Yeah, man. Ugh. There's a problem with education. They don't teach you how to be an adult when you become an adult. That is like an issue. Like, how do I do taxes? How do I pay a mortgage? How do I pay my utility bill, for Christ's sake? Like, I don't know,
How do I be financially sound with my money? How
Right.
do I get out of the rat race?
What's a 401k? You don't ever know this stuff, and you have to rely usually on your parents or relatives and be like, hey, so I have this 401k thing. What the hell is it?
Yeah.
There's no
you
education for that kind of stuff, for real world problems. Kind of like you were saying, Steve. Like, even though you mean like a skill you want to learn, like you need to learn how to live as an adult in the system that we've created around ourselves. Because you can't just be like, I'm going to live now and that's it. I have money in my pocket. I'm good. Like,
I don't think we
they
get
have
enough
like a lot of more
exposure.
shit to do.
I don't think we get enough exposure as kids, though. I think in the school system, the education system, it's like, I mean, I don't know about you guys, and I don't know about the rest of our audience. Please, give us feedback. But by the time I was 18 and I'm being told I'm going to college, I have to know what I want to do for the rest of my life. I hadn't been exposed to a lot of different things in life. My education hadn't exposed me to a lot of different things. So if my parents hadn't, exposed me to everything out there, then I won't have a clue to what it is I would want to do in life. There could be something out there I've never even tried or attempted to try.
Right.
And
I think there needs to be more exposure. So like the 401ks, the financial stuff, the this or that or whatever it is, they need to be
life
exposed to all the things out there within the education that they have from K to 12. They have to be like open doors to like, here's all the things that we can do in life, like, and that we know in life, and like this topic, and you do that from K to 12, and that's it. I think that fails us too, because it doesn't give us that exposure. When we get out there, it's like, yep, drop you on your face. You haven't learned that from anybody else.
Good luck.
The school didn't teach you that.
Do you guys think that maybe that is like useful
to figure it
somehow?
out yourself?
Yeah.
I was just thinking
Well,
that. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
in some
This
ways.
is a Survivor.
I do.
Well, kind of.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
My
Well, you would get like a giant like money package at the end, though.
Yeah.
Here's because that feels like
you just drop like a bunch of debt on your like loved ones when you die. They pay for your funeral. You're just like a big ass coffin. You're just like, yeah, sorry guys, deal with it. I'm dead.
It feels a little bit of like the Spartan mentality, where it's like, or like the Darwinism, where like the weak will just like be shifted out. But like we can be more efficient, right? Like we can be more efficient and we can have more success stories. Like a stronger economy is like the big middle class. Like there's just too many poor people and there's not enough middle class people. So like more people coming out of college with the knowledge of 401k and how to save that money, invest it back into the stock market, so this well-oiled machine can keep turning, the better. And so while I do partly like the idea of like, oh yeah, okay, so the weak will just get washed out, but like at the same time,
because like it's too easy to survive now, because it's like like the weak ones have made it already. It's like diluted. Not like I'm not getting like eradicate.
The weak ones are
right. But I'm just saying, like it's much easier to survive now than like 100 years ago, even if you're poor or whatever.
Yeah.
Because the system, and our technology has advanced. Yeah, medicine has advanced enough to keep the gene pool kind of whatever, equalized. I would say we're not the strongest only.
Yeah, and Ian was saying like, there's people that are in that system, like you're just talking about, Alan, who are just then kind of like sucking on and like abusing the system because they weren't equipped with the right tools. Like, hopefully those people can actually come out of college and be able to work and get money.
That's what you hope. Yeah, you hope they can make it, and if education gets better, they'll be like, holy shit, like what have I been doing the last 5-10 years or whatever.
Yeah, informing them that you could live in a world where you kind of get like a welfare check or like whatever, like something that keeps you kind of just afloat. But look, if you put in this amount of effort, you could live like this, and like hopefully that information, like their knowledge would.
And it's just drain. I don't know. I got.
So what happens then? Do you still pay them, or they just don't file it and they just evade being taxed for a while, and if they don't get found out?
They through college,
Yeah.
And so you sit there, and they make you come out in debt. Like it just, and I know that there's some, grants and this and that, but I just don't think.
It doesn't take all of it away.
No.
Yeah, you still have you still have $1,000 of debt, and it's crazy, and that sets you back.
But
hardcore, because you can't buy a house, you can't start investing, you can't accumulate that snowball of money that just like gets bigger and bigger. That 401k.
Here you go. So all those things are put into place because we've got dumb people because we don't have good enough education for them to solve those problems.
Oh,
sure.
So like.
But we also live in a system where it's like you're either privileged enough to have help to have money to get through college, or you don't go through college and you're worse off than you would if you would have just spent the money, potentially gone through the system, come out and start working at it. Like that was a topic. That was something I was going to talk about in the last topic.
But what if you take someone like Rocco, like Neil for instance. When he was working for Humana, he had a chance to go into.
They don't know who that is.
Oh, Neil. Sorry.
Neil.
Yeah, Neil. Go Neil.
So take this for instance. He had the knowledge. He was better than the guy that they had running for the position, whatever like that. But because that guy had a certain degree, he didn't get the position, but he was more qualified for it. Do you think that's fair, though? Like, as far as the whole education system goes?
No.
And the person who did the hiring knows that he was qualified for the position, but still couldn't get it.
Maybe it wasn't up to him.
Yeah,
That's true, though.
I
but
mean,
like,
Maybe his superior said, "Well, we got to have a guy that has a college degree." Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
but even though
Here's the thing,
you
if
know that
it's-
person, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if something happens where it's a wash, and they look back and it's like, dude, this guy didn't even have a degree. What were you doing? You're fired. You can't hire people. You know what I mean? Like, they're gonna look at that as like a negative against him. So like, the guy is thinking about what, you know, his ass is on the line for that hire. So he's gonna do the safe pick, right?
That's wrong.
Yeah, I never said it was right.
Hey, life is not fair. Like, that's
I know it's not fair, but oh man, it's just
not that it's not fair. Just it's not like you can have an opinion, but it doesn't mean that's the way that like the rest of the world's gonna. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. One thing about education too, guys, is I don't like the way we do education now is not the same as what we used to do education before, and our education is a lot worse right now. At least through our testing, we can find out that we've declined. One thing is that, like, I had thought about doing, like, classical education. Have you guys ever heard about that?
No.
Like,
what is that?
You just listen to classical music all day?
That's what I would imagine would happen.
No. So it's like the classical education, actually. This is what I was thinking about doing for homeschooling, is where you go over everything over a certain period of time. So I guess what you'd say is elementary school, you'd be going over everything we know in life. From the beginning to the modern day. And you're doing it very, very basically, the very basic building blocks. Okay. And then what would be the middle school time is you would go through that same exact thing all over again, but with more detail involved in it. And then through the high school years, you would once again go from the beginning all the way to the modern that we know from the beginning to today, you're going to have a lot of exposure at that point.
As long as it's useful stuff and it's not like, let's tell you again how George Washington cut down an apple tree. It's like, well, that's not really relevant.
I was going to say, like, how can you go over everything?
Well, that's so you start it like, you know, you just like that elementary years, like you do, like, okay, 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old. You're going through it all and you're doing it basically. So basically,
like algebra,
let's say in the beginning, George Washington cut you the apple tree. In the middle school years, you might go deeper and be like, George Washington did this, and that. This was the war going on. Here they tell you everything about kind of George Washington. Later on, you're reading it for yourself in the history books of George Washington and everything he's done. Okay. So it's like you build on it. So you first introduce the idea to the mind, George Washington, and apple tree, and president, and first president. And that's it, really. You know, you just give them the simple, basic blocks.
Curly
and let you introduce more.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, it was something that we had looked at, and they've got a lot of research behind it that shows that the classical education was very, very successful with individuals. That by doing this classical education, children were capable of moving on to college at the ages of 12 and 13 because they've consumed all the information that you would have learned all the way up to being 18 years old in that amount of time, and were able to pass all the tests,
right?
All the tests that were required, you know, through the education with flying colors. So it's like, you know, like, what's going on? There's like a deeper core issue in education right now, and it frustrates me because that leads to like what the countries are going to be capable of, because the people are what makes that country. You know.
That's interesting. That's an interesting viewpoint because you're also the same person that said not like more than an hour ago that the past is the past and we need to evolve and go for the future. But like I can see that working. I'm also interested in seeing like what's the next evolution. Like how can we get better? And then
I'm not saying we stick with the classical. We can evolve that.
Yeah, you know? we can improve on something, right. We've kind of gone the wrong direction. We need to go back to the right direction and get better, right?
Here and back.